Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I ask that you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 personal experiences that I've had proving corruption in Jamaican politics. But before I do that, let me address the suit, because normally I never do videos in a suit. I usually do my videos in a t-shirt because I want to feel relaxed and I want my viewers to feel relatable to me. At the end of this video, I will inject the suit and the reason why I'm wearing the suit, so bear with me. One more thing before I get on to my list of 5, I would like to address a comment that was made on my last video. My last video was of curiosity and somewhat criticism of Andrew Holness. Quite a few comments came in, and some comments sided with me and some comments criticized my stand and other comments opposed to my stand. And that's pretty much what I want. You know, I'm not on here trying to get everyone to agree with what I'm saying. You know, each one teach one. So I like a mixture of reviews. I'm here to open people's eyes with my knowledge, and I'm here to get my eyes open even wider with their knowledge that they shared. But one opinion that was shared was much of an assumption. You know, it was an assumption that didn't so much bother me, but it created this opportunity for me to declare a little bit about myself, because a lot of my viewers truly don't know who am I, where am I from, what's my background story. And for this reason, again, my camera is angled different today. That poster right there that you're looking at is a poster of my best-selling novel, Survived. And if I've written a book called Survived, that is a bigger claim. The word survived is actually a bigger claim, but put it in a nutshell, anybody that claimed the title Survived must have been through something and have reached somewhere. So in a nutshell, that's what my book is about. One of my viewers, I would call him a former subscriber because he unsubscribed from my channel. He came to the conclusion that I'm living in foreign and that makes me out of touch and naive to the criminal elements of Jamaica or the victimization of Jamaica. Not word for word, but he was pretty much saying most youths of Jamaica, or most people of Jamaica, as a relative or a friend that has been victim to gun violence, gang feud, or corruption of police and the killing. Not because you see someone in foreign via YouTube and they're talking and maybe they're well spoken or sound different from the average Jamaicans that's in Jamaica, does not mean that they left Jamaica unscathed. So I'm going to throw it out there for my viewers and for this particular individual that made a comment that I am not exempt from that group of people that you have just mentioned. Personally, one of my brothers, older brother, has been a victim to gun violence in Jamaica, and he was actually killed in downtown Kingston by a member of the Jamaican Constabulary Force. And as we in Jamaica would say, him dead and gone. Nothing came out of it. You know, my brother died, got killed. There was not a police investigation. There was not a court case. There was not even an identity of the police officer who pulled the trigger to kill my brother. His death was never justified. My brother died in 1988. It's been years and years ago. But I just wanted to throw that out there and says to my viewers and my subscribers, if you guys have any questions, ask. You know, I don't want my subscribers, especially my subscribers, to just conclude things and make a fool of themselves. I'm here like an open book. There's my book. I'm here like an open book to share where I get my views from, or why do I have such opinion of this or that. Okay, now that I've covered that, let's get on to the real deal. Politics in Jamaica and corruption of it, it's world renowned, just like Jamaica is renowned for its white sand beach and its jerk chicken. That's the 5 that I'm about to give you. They are my personal experience, meaning things that I've seen with my own eyes. This did not come through a secondary channel. I'm not going to mention which party did what. I don't want to put JLP supporters against PNP. And besides, what I'm about to tell you is history. I don't know if it's currently going on in Jamaica. You guys can let me know if things like this still happens in Jamaica. And to put myself in a neutral stance, I'm going to declare 2 facts of my life, of my history. One, I was born in a PNP stronghold neighborhood. I was born in Jonestown, next door to Craigtown, next door to Jungle, aka Arnett Garden. And throughout my youthful life, I've lived in Jonestown and I've lived in Jungle. And at the same time, I've lived in a JLP stronghold. I've lived in the Mountain View area. I've lived in Jake's Road, if you guys know Jake's Road. Jake's Road. Jake's Road is really a very small neighborhood. It's just made up of 3 roads. It's Jake's Road, Jake's Crescent, Jake's Avenue, and Hunter Drive. 4 roads it's made up of. And as small as that neighborhood is, its reputation supersedes its size. So that pretty much puts me in a neutral stance. So I'm not in support of JLP and I'm not in support of PNP. I'm just here to declare the corruption that I know occurs in the country. I'm going to start from the mildest corruption, or what I think is the mildest corruption I've ever witnessed, to the harshest corruption that I've ever witnessed. First corruption that I've ever witnessed, I had to be about 6 or 7 years old when politicians came to our neighborhood and they promised the kids that they were going to give out gifts and we were going to be in television. The politicians came. The JBC TV crew came with the politicians, and my mom got me all dressed up. All the kids of the neighborhood was all dressed up, and we went on stage to collect our gift, and the TV cameras were rolling. After the gifts were given out and the TV cameras stopped rolling, the politicians asked us, the children, if they could hold the gifts for a few minutes more and they'll give it back to us. And as naive as we were as children, we gave it back to the politicians and they left the neighborhood and gave us nothing. The next day, we were on TV, all the children from my neighborhood, including myself, with big smiles and big thank you, sir, and I had nothing to show for it. When I went to school the next day, the kids asked me what was in the gift. My response had to be something like, what gift? There weren't no gifts. It was just a show. We got tricked. I remember my mom was really upset by it. She had tears in her eyes, but there's nothing that she could actually do about it. And that is corrupt in my eyes, using the children as pawns. The second thing that I've witnessed in Jamaica, this is a little bit more serious. I've witnessed politicians coming to our neighborhood and giving the so-called dons money to tell people in the neighborhood, young boys, to go to the main road and knock out the street lights and create potholes in designated areas. You might be wondering, why would a politician do that? I mean, at the time, I doubt anyone in the neighborhood was asking why they're doing that. The way they see it, it's a job. They're getting paid to do it. But the real reason behind this was an ugly one. One, it will create vehicles to slow down. And when those vehicles slow down, they were exposed to elements of violence, whether that be robbery, whether that be shooting, whether that be carjacking. And also, if the light is out and they're traveling at night, they can't see the potholes. So it makes it a more treacherous area to be as a driver. And the financial reason behind it is the politician could make claim to his or her boss for road works money, money to fix the road. Now we have potholes, and that MP needs to make claim as to where they need money to go to. So that's my number 2. Number 3 is ballot box stealing. I've witnessed politicians coming to our neighborhood, telling guys from our neighborhood to go out and steal boxes from other neighborhoods. Because usually back in the day, this is like in the 80s, back in the day, votings were usually at community centers or churches, and they were really vulnerable. They didn't have major security. So the politician would supply people from our neighborhood with guns and so on. They kind of safe passage these guys to go over that neighborhood, storm the churches, storm the neighborhood, and steal these ballot boxes. Other than storming other neighborhoods, I've witnessed where children at my age at the time were offered a couple dollars to watch the people's vote. So even though people are supposed to vote privately, these people weren't allowed to draw a curtain. You stood over there and make sure that they put their X's where the Don says the X's are supposed to go. Anybody that doesn't put their X's where it's supposed to go, that person will either get beaten or in some cases killed. And that ballot box would be flawed, so they'll find one way or another to get into the box, take out that vote to make sure that all the votes that the Don and the MP wants are in that box. I was too young to vote, but it didn't stop me from being around to see what was happening. Number 4 has to be the supply of guns. As a kid living in the ghetto, I've witnessed politicians pulled up with their motorcades and opened their trunk and had boxes of guns, handguns, machine guns, and give it to the Don so the Don could assign guns to whoever he thought was fit to hold the gun. The trick about this is the one you call politics, because these guns are given to the Dons and the guys in the area to create havoc. On my channel, I always say crime is a commodity. This is because I know crime is necessary in politics. These guns were given to create havoc, to make a neighborhood violent. So for no reasons or minor reasons, these guys were ordered to shoot other people or kill other people, oftentimes in the opposing political party neighborhood, but the neighboring one, the closest one, an area where you could just run, do your dirt, and come back to your neighborhood real quick. The thing about these violent uproar, I don't really know the ins and outs of why the government of Jamaica would want certain areas to be known as violent and want some areas to be known as safe. But I do know that the violence were orchestrated. The violence were designed. It didn't just happen because so-and-so had a problem with so-and-so. Back in the day, these violence were told to happen. These violence were made to happen. But here's the funny part of these violent uproar. After the violent uproar, and it made the news over and over again, the Minister of Security often has to put his or her feet down, and they usually have to deploy what was back then called rat patrol. Now, today they have state of emergency. Back in the day, it was just curfew and rat patrol. I guess it would equivalent to being state of emergency, but growing up in these neighborhoods, I've witnessed many curfews. Curfews means that you have to be in your house at a certain time and you can't come out of your house at a certain time. But they were ludicrous. They were funny. There was a joke, because what would usually happen is the Minister of Security, who deploys the rat patrol, would also give the Dons and the gunmen heads up to know that tomorrow we're going to have a raid. Tomorrow we're going to install a curfew. So this gives the Dons an opportunity to leave the neighborhood and go to other neighborhood, because the Dons already know from the Minister of Security how long the curfew is going to be, how long the rat patrol presence is going to be in his neighborhood. But there's a side effect to all of this. I honestly believe that even though when the rat patrol is there and no one is getting killed, kids such as myself seeing the presence of police and assault rifles and soldiers in our neighborhood when we're walking to school has to have a psychological effect on us. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old now, and here I am. I'm still remembering these vividly, and I've left Jamaica decades ago. Foreign has been my adopted home for many, many years now. But those negative elements, those negative images, you just can't get them out of your brain. And I do believe that such experiences suppresses some children, and it disables them from becoming more useful adults or more productive adults to the society of Jamaica. I mean, I've not studied psychology, but that's just what I think. Not all kids are as, say, strong as myself. Not everyone can overcome trauma, and not everyone can overcome fright. Number five kind of link to number 4, but it's kind of like the tail end of number 4. Number 5 is when dons die. Pretty much when politicians are ready to get rid of dons. You understand? So usually dons know a lot, and this information that dons know, they kind of got it from politicians. And dons and politicians have meshed and developed a close-knit relationship over a tenure. But there comes a time when the politician has to protect his reputation and look out for himself. So there comes a time when the politician is either going to be out of power, but the don still hold all this information, and maybe the politician doesn't trust the don because the don holds valuable information. And those are usually times when politician believes that it's time to get rid of the don. And this time, when the security force is deployed, the only difference is the don will not get a heads up from the politician and usually meet his demise. That's pretty much how that works. I would believe that most people who are watching this who lives in the ghetto would say, well, yeah, half the time when some of the dons from our hood died, they didn't see it coming. Well, they kind of put their trust in the politician, and this was just the one time when the politician decided to renege on that trust and protect himself or herself. If you've made it to the end of my number 5 corruption that I've witnessed, I'm going to throw in a bonus for you. This pretty much has nothing to do with politicians, and then again maybe it does, but this points mostly to the Jamaican constabulary force, the corruption that I've witnessed in the Jamaican constabulary force. Now, for one reason or another, whether it's a rival gang that wants to kill someone from a rival gang, they usually employ the police. And in order to have a successful kill without getting caught or getting killed yourself while you're doing your deeds, they usually employ police. And what the police used to do is the police would pilot the gunman. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, I'm the gunman and I want to kill this individual, but I want to do it myself. I pay the police, tell them that I need to take care of business. What the police does is say, come on, let's go. Police would go in front of my car. What usually happens in ghettos, when thugs or gunmen or gangsters see a police car coming, they usually flee. And the only people that still hangs out on the corner are usually thugs or innocent people who don't have any weapon on them, just in case the police stop to do a random search. They're not guilty of anything. So after the police passes, what would happen? This would leave the gunman, the gangster, or the unarmed gangster, so to speak, vulnerable. And the car that's coming with the gangster in it has a open, clear opportunity to gun him down, and he's gone and scot-free. And that's pretty much how it works. how it usually works in Jamaica. I don't know. A lot of changes, a lot of positive changes has been applied to the society of Jamaica, to how its justice system works. There's a lot of watchdogs now that weren't around when I was a kid. Now they have a committee that oversees the election to make sure that votes are fair. And now they have a lot of auditing and a lot of watchdogs and the police corruption and accounting of guns and ammunition. So from what I'm hearing, Jamaica is transforming to a better society, a more tight grip society with law and order. I don't know if I don't know if it's accurate. I'm telling you the vibe that I'm getting from the last time that I visited Jamaica and the news bites that I get out of Jamaica. The Jamaica that I know to the Jamaica that is today, they are different. How completely different they are, I don't know. Anyway, people, now to my suit. Reason to my suit is to simply say, clothes doesn't make a man. A lot of people may see me in a suit or see me as an author or a writer or a public speaker, and they may come to the conclusion that even though I'm a Jamaican, maybe I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, maybe I was the one that had the opportunity to better education, maybe I'm one of the uptown boys, you know. So I'm just here to say I'm a product of the ghetto, and I would like all the people that's watching my channel to know that not because you're from the gully or the gutter, meaning that you have to result with grime. You don't have to be a product of your environment. And I mean that in every way. If you're from the hood, it doesn't mean that you have to turn out to be a bum or a gangster or a criminal or a thief or anything negative. You can make your own choices. There come a time in life where it's a crossroad, and we can choose as to what we want to do with our life or who we want to become in our world. At the same time, when you see politicians in their suits and their glasses and they're well spoken and they look well put together, it doesn't mean that they are not dishonest. It doesn't mean that they can't be criminals or crooks. The suit does not make a man, and for that reason I decided to wear a suit today, because even though today I have many suits to represent myself when I speak publicly, when I go to meetings, when I sit with clients, it doesn't change the fact that I'm from Jamaica and I witnessed the things that I've witnessed, and I've seen the things that I've seen, and I've been victim to a lot of negativity in this world. So that was the whole reason for my suit today, to let my viewers know that the suit doesn't make a man. Anyway, people, I look forward to hear your comments and what you guys have to say in regards of my 1 to 5 or my bonus number 6. Once again, on this channel, I accept thumbs up, thumbs down, positive or negative comment, because at the end of the day, each one teach one. Until next time, people. Peace.